obviously health is going to play a big part in things, but like Phoenix is good enough to make the finals without Chris Paul.
That's kind of hot.
That might be a little hot.
That's kind of hot.
I don't think it's that hot. I will say, I think if I'm somebody in the Phoenix organization, I don't really give a damn who we play in the first round. We are the best team in the West, and that's how I'm approaching it. Like y'all gotta come to us, and whoever we gotta go through is who we're going through. I agree that like the Lakers aren't the ideal team for them to play in the first round. Obviously, that's nobody really wants LeBron James their reward for being the 1 seed. And obviously, if Anthony Davis comes back healthy, that's not something you want to see. Those are all big ifs. I think if I'm Phoenix, let's just play basketball.
Now, these teams, the Jazz, the Mavericks, and the Nuggets are really just kind of 3 games from each other.
Let's put the Timberwolves in there too.
Yeah, let's put the Timberwolves in there too, because they're only about 4 games out of that 4th seed.
Only half game back of the Nuggets now, right?
Yeah, so let's go one by one. Let's go with the Mavericks, and I want to say this, that Luka has been playing sensational. If he played like this the beginning of of the season, he probably would be in a running for league MVP.
It takes him 2 months to get warmed up every year.
I don't know why. It's like he comes into the season out of shape.
Yeah,
and that's a bad look. But he's been playing sensational right now. So
he's young though. I think he'll get that figured out. The way he's playing right now, it's incredible.
I don't think it would be crazy if Dallas made the finals. This team is better served to make things work with non-Luka ball handlers than the last 2 seasons. Largely because Spencer Dinwiddie is significantly better than what they've been throwing out there. Are they probably like a piece away? They're probably a guy away. Yeah.
I don't expect this team to do much, but I do expect Luka to take that next step and win a playoff series. Is Donovan Mitchell a superstar? Would you consider Donovan Mitchell a top 15 player?
I think he's right on the verge of that. The way he's been playing lately has been pretty impressive, and it's leading to wins too, which is obviously the most important thing. I think he's shooting like 41% or something on like 11 threes per game in the last like 2 months, which is crazy. He's one of the best off the dribble pull-up 3-point shooters in the game. I don't know if he's in that superstar tier yet, but I think he's on that trajectory.
I think Donovan Mitchell is awesome. I think he gets better every year and gets noticeably better and adds various things to his game every year. And that's one of the things I appreciate about him the most. You can see how much he wants to be the best. Right now, no, I don't think he is a superstar. I don't think he is a top 15 player. I think we all see the shooting ability. We all see the scoring ability, the athleticism, the finishing around the rim, just how dynamic he is with the ball in his hands. We've seen, the playmaking improve year over year. This might not be popular with all the basketball world because he's not a super popular figure with a lot of people for fairly understandable reasons. But Patrick Beverley has had a big impact on this team as well.
I agree.
And I think it has to be mentioned if we're talking about that. He's been high level on the defensive end, as usual. He's knocking down the 3 ball again, as usual. He's very clearly had an impact on this team, both from a scheme standpoint and an X's and O standpoint, but also from just a pure mindset standpoint and how they play. I would be remiss to not mention Jared Vanderbilt's defensive contributions as well and rebounding contributions. They've both been, in my opinion, phenomenal this year.
Yeah, those are 2 guys that they play hard almost every single play, almost every single time down. Jared Vanderbilt's trying to get a rebound. Like, you get that stuff going every single night, and it's going to be contagious, even to the upper echelon type of players. You mix that with Anthony Edwards taking a pretty significant leap, I think, in his second year.
And it's crazy because I think he's got a pretty sizable leap or 2 in him left. Really excited to see where he ends up.
But this team has been, since the All-Star break, they've had the best offense. I think like the third best defense. They were 11-2. They lost to Dallas last night, which is pretty important for the playoff race. I think they get Dallas again later this week. I think they're probably going to end up in that 7th seed, but considering where they were coming in the season, that's got to be a win.
I mean, if Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are somehow magically going to be themselves in 2 weeks, then that's probably the best team in the Western Conference. So a lot. But I'm gonna go out here and say the likelihood of them coming back from injury in Kawhi's case, very significant injury. Really, in both of their cases, very significant injury, and being 100% themselves by the start of the playoffs. I'm gonna say those are slim to none.
If they could somehow be 100% healthy, and they beat, let's say, the Timberwolves in that first play-in, then maybe they could they could beat the Grizzlies in that 2-7.
If they're healthy, and I know Paul George is closer to coming back than Kawhi is, because Kawhi is one of those, one of those athletes that he takes his injuries very serious. So if he's out a year, he's out a year and a half, he's going to take that time off. He's going to load manage. He's going to do whatever he has to do in order to get his body right. I wouldn't necessarily dismiss Paul George with that Clippers team making some type of run, maybe out of the first round. That would be one of the sleepers that I would say.
It takes time to get back in the swing of things. So with Paul George in the first round series, I think this Clippers team is probably, a first round exit, albeit a very frustrating one.
Should the Western Conference fear the Lakers of making a championship run with LeBron playing? If the Lakers were a 5th seed, maybe a 6th seed, LeBron would probably be league MVP. So with him playing at a high level, and with Anthony Davis, we don't really know the status or what he will bring to the table when he returns. I'm under the mindset, I don't think the Lakers make it to the playoffs, the actual playoffs. I think they lose.
You think the Lakers are going to lose in that first play-in to?
I think they could lose to the Pelicans.
I think they could too.
I think they could lose to the Pelicans. It's in New Orleans.
How important do you think that is? Because that's kind of what the Lakers are locked into, the 9 or 10. Do you think it's really important for them to get 9? Obviously, you'd rather have home court advantage, but do you think it's important?
I think the Lakers need to get as healthy as possible.
I mean, if AD is fully healthy, but I don't see how he's going to be fully healthy when he's going to be fresh back. He's not going to have very much warm up time. We've seen this a lot where AD tries to come back a little bit early. It doesn't work out. He goes down again. I don't know. It just doesn't. It seems very similar to last season where it doesn't seem like they're going to be able to get out. I think they have a good shot to getting out of the play-in. That first round is a total another question. I think if Chris Paul's out, there's a shot. If not, I don't see them beating that Phoenix team.
Without Anthony Davis, no. With Anthony Davis, as impactful as he is, the answer is probably still no. There's just too many players in the rotation, in the Lakers rotation, that aren't, that are basically unplayable.